seemed okay for that period. But when you think back at it, okay, new standards of wealth and happiness. New experimental standards of happiness. Experimental standards is that there are no standards, real, digestible, implementable standards of happiness. Evidently, money is not doing it. Fame and fortune is not doing it, right? It's actually adding to the problem. It's running people crazy, you know. Therefore, we have to develop not only the organizational power and ability, but we have to push or move toward implementing standards of happiness, because that seems like the only thing that will help solve today's problems. If people can become happy, Happy. That's where the experimental, not a whole lot of experiments and all that. That means we have to be big. That big, we have to get billions of dollars in our control. Not to spend them, but to use them to, no matter what we discover, if we look better at it, the people probably would accept it better. Remember the hadith about what the Prophet is asking, what would people think about that guy there? He's going by, he's poor. He says, poor fella's pretty bad. So nobody would marry their daughter to him or nothing, you know. Oh, what about that guy? Oh, that guy, shoot, he's big. He's rich. He may not have, if you're rich and use riddles like eeny, meeny, miny, mo, people will follow it, right? But if you're talking big time factual stuff, functional stuff, and you raggedy, people won't listen to you because they're going to judge physical terms. Like little children. You notice little children, they judge people by size, not by intellect. I want to get big. I want to grow up and I want to get big, size, not smart, big. And they judge the people by size mostly because they're little and they're not normal, right? Okay. The thing about it is the people don't mature at all. They still use material judgments to measure a psycho-spiritual reality. Happiness, psycho-spiritual, it comes from the mind, and you know what I mean, right? Although if you got a good functioning body and all of that, it makes happiness easier, but that don't mean it's absolutely necessary. Okay, regional, global, functional wealth and health. Management, of course. Functional wealth, functional health, management. Therefore, everything should function to produce. If there's standards, they have a saying in Sudan that health is a crown worn on the head of the healthy, but it's only seen by those who are sick, right? When you're sick and you're looking at somebody wealthy, that's the whole world. That's it. right? So it's like a crown. But the only people who see that crown are those who are sick and infirm and what have you. And they see you got perfect health. Hey, man, I would give all of this for that. Think about it. If you're a blind man and you're a billionaire, how much would you give to see? Every drop of it. I'll get some more later. Right? Suppose you need a heart transplant, ear transplant, feet transplant, all that stuff. You give all of that up, right? To be a healthy, whole, sane being. Okay, I'm going to speed up. In other words, we have to adjust the world unless we affect the standards of good, the standards of evil, the standards of beauty. I'm sorry, but it falls on us because everything everybody else got right now is grotesque. The standards of health is a muscle man, but that's not functional, right? And it ain't gonna make, they ain't no happier than they get an extra little lump, but don't make nobody no happier, right? So, believe it or not, we have to acquire billions of dollars. That means us right here. Sure, we're gonna do it. Don't make no difference. We'll give it a shot anyway. Why? Because we have peaked a little bit about what real happiness is, and the world is unhappy. Can you imagine? They was going to get some labor-saving devices. Now they got them. The labor-saving devices going to put them out of a job. Well, they don't have to work no more. The machine will do it. Well, if you're a human being, why would you make a machine to put yourself out of work? But the rich people would buy it to put the machine to work, but the machine can't buy anything. The people do. So it's a stupidity. If you make the people poor, they can't buy nothing from you, stupid. And whatever the machine can make, the machine don't need it. It's insanity. You see what I mean? These people is crazy. They have gone overboard and out to lunch. So we who think we got a little sense, we got to help them. But you have to be big to help them. Because they ain't helping themselves, and the people are chasing a phantom. If I could just get another $50 trillion, I'm sure that'll pull it off. It ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work. And what do they have to do? How many people do Amazon have to put out of work? Or whatever it is, the people that's doing all that machine stuff. And they definitely ain't happy, right? They getting worked to death. And when they get home, they got to get some rest, R-E-S-T. Just because that regularity and nonsensical stuff, if you work digging ditches, and sometime you working with a pick, sometime with a shovel, and sometime you could stop and wipe your brow and tell a joke, and the other guy do a little digging, and that's healthy work. You can work all day like that, right? But woo, 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 woo. Thing is watching you. Woo, woo, woo. Can't wipe. You better not wipe that sweat off of yourself. Can't wipe your sweat off. There's a rule. No sweat wiping in here, or you're fired. And the thing is wipe. Right? You can't do it. I'm telling you, this is insanity. And the people don't look at it as insane. They're going to put themselves, they're going to make a machine so they could make more money because they only pay the machine, nothing. Cost of making it, like a slave. Once you buy the slave, it's yours. But at least you have to feed the slave, have children. This nigga here, you ain't going to do nothing but just work. He can't have no children because he can't get home to have none because he's working. And he's too tired when he get there and paranoid. Think the bed pillow is watching him, right? These people are crazy. We have to tell the people this simple stuff that you didn't let the people run you crazy. Simple stuff. When young people would get married, what did you do? You just, all of y'all get together, give them a big wedding party and help them get, you'd give them a little something to daddy, give them a little something, Uncle Joe, give them a little something to get started. Now, can you imagine? They don't do that. The uncle and the daddy didn't spend all the money for the children, the last two generations. They didn't spend all up their money and they got to pay it off. Can you imagine? The kids got to pay off the debt the people, they got to pay off that debt. And just to be able to pay it off, they got to get another debt of their own at the schoolhouse. This is crazy. Okay, we have to tell the people that that's crazy and you're crazy for going along with it. Now that means that we was thinking the 20th century was the last revolution, but there's transition is coming that we can't put our finger on it. But it's already in the air. It's going to change. And it could happen. Historically, things would go over decades and all that to develop toward a revolution. You could go to sleep tonight and you wake up and the revolution is in progress right then. So, let's call them transformations in the air, and they will be big, and we can't calculate where they'll come from and how they'll, because see, everything is messed up. And everybody got a reason to be, the white folks talking about you're going to replace us. Well, they paranoid. They killed all the Indians and they took everything. And so they paranoid, the niggers and the Mexicans going to replace us. Right? You guys, so we got to get rid of them. Of course, it'll be hard to get rid of them, all of them. So they're paranoid. But they don't have me and you to worry about. They ought to be worried. Boss man is the one doing everything that's done to him. Boss man did it. Boss man said, not nah, I looked for niggas and any of them to I said, nigga, did you send anything overseas? I ain't said nothing. I ain't had nothing to send. So you didn't send all the companies overseas 20, 30, 40 years ago? Not a one. In fact, my job went over there with them, with the company. Why? How you gonna blame me, right? So, historically, there's some things that will be standard, though. The sage or those type of people would have to make sense out of the environmental, the society that the people are living in. They have to make sense out of it for the people. And mainly when we talk about the people, we're thinking more of Nineveh than Babylon and all. Everybody else kind of had a little crash and burn. So we're kind of hoping that, since they're all our relatives and everything, at least, you know what I mean, they might pull through. But whatever happens, the earth will still be here. And if the earth have to burn all the niggas up or freeze them, it's still gonna. Here, it's got another 4.5 billion years left. This is what they say. So, billion with a B, that's a long time. If anybody ever saw those programs on TV that this is what the earth would look like in 1,000 years without the human being here, just 1,000 years. In 1,000 years, it would be no more streets because all the trees and roots would have grown up through everything. You know, that's just in 1,000 years. And in 10,000 years, everything would have broken all that back down into what it was originally made out of, and all that would have been fertilizer, refertilizer, and right?